We are live. Okay, good evening, everyone. Gijo, can you hear me? Am I audible? Gijo, there's some issue with the audio, it seems. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you, Gijo. Guys, just give us a couple of minutes while we resolve this issue. Shruti, can you just check from the back end if there's any issue? Gijo, your mic, it seems, is not connected. Okay. Good evening, Sohail. Okay, give us a few minutes. Yeah, I'm still getting the same message that your mic is not connected.
Am I audible? No.
Now you're audible. Now it's fine.
Okay. So I don't know which
Okay.
mic. 2-3 mics here. Something is working.
Chalo, koi baat nahi. Whichever mic is working, at least one of them is working, so we can at least have a conversation, and the students can hear us. Yeah.
All right. Right. Okay.
Great. It's a little low. Your volume is a little low. So whichever mic you have in front of you, just raise the volume. Just go to the settings and see.
So let me just check once.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, Mayank, Kushag, Keshav, and Sohail. Guys, can you confirm if Gijo's voice is clear?
Okay, I don't know whether...
Yeah, but perfect, Gijo. Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Have to hold this mic like this, I think. I have to talk.
Okay. Chalo, theek hai. Chalo, let's get started. That's fine. Your voice is clear. The students are saying your voice is clear, so we can go ahead.
All right. So I'm just going to scream. I think I've increased my volume. So this should work. Okay, great. All right, GP. Okay, let me know if there is an issue, but I think that this is better. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we are here for that decision making, and there's a primer towards decision making to get you people started, and after this you can pick it up yourself. The idea was to give you some basic idea of how to go about doing question of decision making, because this is a new area for all of you, and hence we felt that giving you the basics, and if you pick up these basics, frankly you can do the entire decision making preparation yourself. If beyond that you need something, those programs are in any case available to you. Okay, so over to you, Gijo.
All right. So what we'll do in this particular session is do the 6 things. So we had a session. I don't know how many of you attended the session a couple of days ago, where we discussed about XAT. In that we discussed a bit about decision making itself. So we'll kind of quickly recap that part in terms of understanding decision making. Then we'll get into what are the core skills that have been tested in decision making. Then how do we solve a DM test? We'll pick up a couple of sets here. So we can use a set from XAT and help you understand how you go about solving these questions. And talking about if you were to kind of do well in this particular session, what are the things that we got to do? So those are the 16 that we cover. Hopefully, we'll be able to do all of these in about an hour's time. So this is sort of to get you started with your preparation for decision making and help you understand how you navigate this section, which is something that you have not done for your preparation for the CAT. For that matter, you probably would have never done this any time in your life. Okay, I'm sure that you would have taken a lot of decisions, but systematically analyzing and sort of decision making question is something that you would not have done. Okay, we'll start with understanding decision making. This is something all of you would know by now. The CAT has got two parts, and that we have got 75 questions with part number one, which is the part that matters to get the call. And in that, we have this section on decision making, which has got 21 questions. And of course, you have 170 minutes with you. You can choose to spend the 170 minutes in any way that you want. What we had recommended that to look at the decision making in about 45 minutes. That's so you can probably be able to do this in about 45 minutes. And this has been the decision making in the past years. So you essentially get scenarios. So the majority of these decision making has been the 7 times 3, 7 scenarios with 3 questions each. There has been cases where there was one math based question back in 2020, and the 2023 had a few. This should be one. There were actually 22 questions. So we are basically going with the assumption that XAT 2021 will have about 21 questions, 7 odd scenarios with about 3 questions each. So that's what decision making session is about. So you get 7 scenarios with 3 questions each. Okay.
Yeah, and just a word about those math-based sets. These are more of DI stroke LR data sets. Okay, so these could be arrangement. This could be something like scheduling. So these are more of DILR, and which is why we are not too bothered about it, because for CAT we have already done on most of these things. The kind of data sets that you have prepared for CAT or which came in CAT this year, those are the kind of sets you could have. Okay, okay. But bulk of it is situations which are given in different scenarios given, and based on that the question would be there. Okay?
And in any case, most of the cases we have got only decision making scenarios, and we have
Yes.
guessing that that's probably would be the case in 2025 as well. Okay. Just to talk about the percentile rank versus score. This is so XAT gives score in percentage terms. So obviously, we can convert that into number of. I've rounded it out. So if you're looking like something like the cutoff is usually here. It depends upon your category. So you would want to get into double digits, right? Your score has to be sort of in double digit, at least the number of questions. But if you want to hit something like a 99 percentile, you got to attempt almost every single question, which means you have to attempt 21 questions in decision making and get about 75% accuracy. So one of the things that you have to understand is past couple of years, and given the fact that the convener is going around and saying that the question will be something which is very discernible and stuff, so you will tend to see that this should be something that our target should be. So if you are attempting, let's say, 4 questions, 3 of them has to be correct. So that's a sort of story. So you're looking at getting and which is a significantly high accuracy. That also tells us, GP, that this is so it cannot be based on some random subjective stuff. Otherwise, people will not get this kind of accuracy. This will not get this kind of score distribution, right? So even if, for example, you look at a 14 out of 21 is what is two-thirds. It's about 66%. Even if I look at what is CAT's VRC, it's not 66%, right? CAT VRC is you're getting about the 99%. That will be about 40 out of the 72. Yeah.
40 out of 72.
Which is about slightly more than about 50%.
Yeah, it's actually less. Yeah, 55 to 60, somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. So what you need to understand is that decision making, it is possible to get these questions correct. So that's something that you have to understand. Moving forward, let's talk about the core skills. What is decision making all about? And what I've done is I've taken from the XAT itself. So XAT has mentioned this clearly, specifically. You can see this in the website. What XAT says, the DM section will present scenarios drawn from both personal and professional lives. Candidates will be required to apply critical thinking, problem solving skills, and prioritization to make informed decision. This is what has been stated by XAT, right? So what they want to test is your critical thinking, problem solving skills, prioritization, and making informed decisions. GP, yeah. So if I were to look at what each of this actually means, what is critical? If I look at definition of this, critical thinking means your ability to objectively evaluate a situation by analyzing facts and evidence without influenced by emotions, assumptions, or biases. So you're basically going to go with what is given in the particular scenario and not looking at emotion. What are problem solving skills? Capacity to identify root cause of an issue and develop practical, logical, effective solution to solve it. What does prioritization mean? Ability to rank tasks, action, decision based on urgency, importance, and impact. And more importantly, what does informed decision means? The decision made based on thorough understanding of all relevant facts, evidence, and possible outcome rather than intuition or incomplete information. One of the things that most people talk about, I have seen lot many people talk about decision making, is that decision making is common sense. It is actually not common sense. Common sense is something that you develop out of intuition. This is not intuition. Decision making is not reading comprehension. It is not about comprehending, understanding what is given in the text. It is in fact, it is analytical reasoning. So this is something that you have to understand. So which means you have to use logic, critical reasoning, logic, problem solving to answer this question, right? And GP, anything you want to add here?
Yeah, I think just want to just re-emphasize on what you said, that please don't treat it like reading comprehension. Please don't treat it like anything you have done earlier. And it is important to understand that this requires a practice and skill set development of its own. If you just try to treat it like reading comprehension is very, very different. When you talk about reading comprehension, you don't talk about critical thinking or problem solving skills or prioritization. You don't talk of most importantly informed decision making. Okay, when you're doing reading comprehension, you are trying to understand the passages given and answer based on that. Here, you will have to do a little more. Yes, you have to understand the situation given to you. You will have to understand what are the facts of the case. You'll have to understand what are the problems which are there. But based on all of that, you'll have to go a step further and identify the criteria and then take the right decision. So decision making is a much more involved process. It looks very simple, looks very commonsensical, but as Gijo said, it is not common sense. It requires many, many other things. And which is why it is important that you make sure you practice a lot. When I say practice a lot, try doing most of the old XAT papers of decision making, so that you can get the hang of how to go about doing it. Okay. Yeah, Jijo, we can go ahead.
Yeah. So let's get into what is a process. How do you solve a decision making set? That's something that we'll understand now. Okay. So this is what you typically get. You get a scenario. Like I said, this could be based on some personal situation. This could be based on a professional situation. This could be based on many things. It could be based on an ethical decision. It could be based on decision about an organization. It could be a business situation. It could be about, for example, your maid being caught, uh, accused of stealing something. Okay. It could be about, it should be a sort of any scenario that is given, and then you
Yeah,
are given a question. Yeah,
and
sorry.
just to add, and you'll find many times these are situations that you would have seen. You would have at least read about it. And some of these, if you have work experience, you would have seen those kind of situations occurring in your professional life also. And at times you will even have scenarios which talk about, let's say, some issue between friends. So which is why you need to understand any kind of situation which you can expect in your daily life, whether it is personal or professional, can be visible here. Secondly, whatever you see around yourself in the world, those scenarios could be replayed. For example, the India against corruption movement, Baba Amte movement, that found a place here. We have had data sets or scenarios which talk about politics, where we talk about electioneering. So all kinds of situations are possible, and as long as you are aware of what is happening around you, it will give you some kind of connect with what is happening around you. What is happening around you, if you are aware of it, it will give you some kind of connect with the passages or the scenarios. But please remember, what is the real life decision may or may not have been the right decision. Okay? So just don't try to, whatever happened in my real life is what I will copy, cut, paste, is going to be a wrong approach. Because then what you are doing is you are not looking at the requirements of the scenario, and you are just blindly copying something. So don't copy. Yes, if there's a scenario from the real life which comes here, still evaluate the case on its own merits and then take the right decision. Yes, Jijo, back to you.
Yeah. So now when you look at the question the question can be of two types. One is like, okay, I've been given a scenario, and immediately the question simply asks, what is the best course of action? Let's say, what is the best course of action, which means this is based on whatever is based on the scenario. Using that scenario without any additional piece of information, you are given some options. That is one type of question. The second type of question is the question itself will have some additional additional information, and individual information would be there. For instance, let's say there is a scenario where there is a let's take a scenario. Let's take any scenario where you are people are, for example, let's say uh, malpractices that is happening in a particular school. Okay, the school found out there's a lot of malpractices that actually happened. Okay, then questions start by asking about, there is one case, there's a student who has done something. So the question may have a sort of additional scenario, and then you have option, and then the question may ask quite a lot of things. It could, for example, ask to identify the problem, what is the root cause or something. It could even ask what is the criteria that one should use to evaluate the solution. It could even ask what could be the best solution for a particular situation. It could give a new information and then say, okay, which of the following information can persuade someone to do something. So there are, it could even be questions which is asked you to rank something, right? Prioritize the given options in some random order. So it will be some sort of question which may have these stuff, and there are 5 answer choices that is given to you, right? And out of this, we need to understand what does the correct answer choice actually means. So that's something that we have to understand. For that, what you got to do is a simple 3-step process. Okay, obviously, first thing that you have to do, you have to read. When you read this, eventually what you're trying to do is to understand what the scenario is. What are the key facts of this particular scenario? What is the problem at hand? So in some case, of course, the question stem is going to give you additional bit of facts. What is a fact that is important for me to answer a particular question, right? So that is sort of that's a scenario. We'll pick up one question sort of to help you understand what we are talking about here. But at this point in time, let me just go through the 3 steps. But I believe the most important step is to define the decision criteria. For me to make a decision, it is important to identify a criteria. Let's take a simple example. I'll say, let's take your case. Let's create a study. There is a student who is looking at an MBA program, and the situation at this point in time is that the CAT did not go well, and the student sort of has to decide on whether to take XAT or not. Yeah, this is sort of the scenario. And but for us to make a decision criteria, there would be something that is in the case. For example, the student is looking at top 5 colleges in this particular country. The student is only looking at ABC. The student wants to do MBA this year itself. The student is willing to wait for another year. So whatever is, so the decision, different decision criteria, you can call it the principle based on which you are making a decision. This decision criteria is what is going to decide in terms of evaluation of how do you evaluate the criteria. So whenever you read a particular case and a question, what you have to ask yourself is this: on what basis am I going to make the decision? What are the criteria that I'm going to use, right? So the whole thing, the you getting 75% accuracy in decision making is this step, your ability to define decision criteria. And decision criteria, let me also talk about this decision criteria. This may not be explicitly stated, but it will be implied, right? It kind of would be implied. For instance, there is one particular thing that uses the word immediately. If the question uses the word immediately, in the sense that I want to have a solution immediately, that is a decision criteria. Is that I need to have an action point which is actually immediate. If the question says, the question talks about, okay, so let's say a question discuss about there's a person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, all of them are employees, right? And which is working in organization X. And the question is asking about what is important for the organization. Then the decision criteria is based on the particular organization, not necessarily the individuals that is working within that particular organization. And if the decision criteria, which of the following is somebody, which of the following is the most which of the following solution is the best use of unethical means, then that becomes the decision criteria. So you have to understand that that the critical thinking, the problem solving, the informed decision, everything eventually fundamentally boils down to your ability to identify decision criteria. Yeah, GP. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The interesting thing is many questions will tell you the decision criteria themselves, that this is the criteria you need to use. But at the same time, there will be questions which will not give any criteria, and you'll have to infer the criteria. You'll have to understand based on the scenario, based on what is given, based on the problem statement, what criteria to be applied. At many times, you'll have to decide for yourself. But the good thing, as you just said, many of the questions will give you the additional criteria or the criteria, and based on that, you should answer. Okay? And always stick to the criteria. When in doubt, if you're confused between choices, which happen very often, go back and look at the question, or go back and look at the criteria which you have decided. Based on the criteria, which is the one which you should be going for. Because it is not that in life there's nothing called a wrong choice. The right or wrong choice depends on what you want to achieve. If I'm looking for as a business organization, if I'm looking for long-term profits versus short-term profit, then my actions will change completely. Okay, in the short term, maybe I need to advertise more. Maybe I need to put more salespeople on the ground. In the long term, maybe I need to put more money behind research and development. So the criteria decides the action is what you need to remember, that it is the criteria which is the most important item as far as decision making is concerned. If you mess up the criteria, you are usually going to pick up the wrong answer choice. If you're able to pick up the right criteria for the question, you will get the right answer.
Yeah. And whenever you're looking at criteria, which is implicit ones, okay, there will be some stakeholders, right? There'll be some people who will be affected by the decision that you're making, right? What are the stakeholder needs? What are the stakeholder wants, right? And the second is there would be some core issues. What is the primary problem or a goal that you're trying to address? What is the context? So, for example, if it is an ethical dilemma, you're looking at fairness, transparency. If it's a financial crisis, cost efficiency, feasibility, organizational conflict, conflict resolution. And for example, whether the question is looking at something that is short term, whether it is a question that is long term, and once you read once you read a particular set and looking at the particular question, in some cases you can even look at the question before you. I think that is not needed these days. I mean, back I remember back in 2009, 2010, 2011, there were 2 pages of cases, right? So there
Yeah.
are a lot of I think if you go back and look at some of the sets of 2010, 11, and you will actually see it is 2 pages of case. In
Yes.
that particular case, there is a lot of information that is given. You might want to figure out which is the relevant information. So it made a lot of sense to actually go look at the question to understand what the question is trying to ask. Therefore, let me go back and understand the relevant information that is there. But these days, I don't think that is needed per se. But nevertheless, it is because the scenarios are much more shorter. But still, you got to understand this one. So what we'll do is I'll pick up one set here. I'll start a XAT 22 set. Let me actually open. What should I? Let me open a stopwatch. So we'll keep it here so that we want to put some timer. Okay, that's it. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll put this set. I'm just going to give a minute's time. What I've done is I've given. Let me actually just show what it is. So this is that 2021 set. These are the question stem. So what I want you guys to do is read this set. Right. Take a minute time. Read this particular set, and we'll first discuss this particular set and try to understand what is it when I read. What is it I need to look at? What is the how do I come out with sort of a decision criteria? So just let me give you a minute's time for you to just read this. the here in this particular question, if you look at the two question has the question per se has not given any additional info. So this is straight away asking you to make some decision. This is a scenario. Let's just read the particular scenario here. It says the public relations department of an organization has spent only 4 crores of its allotted 16 crores on publicity. There are 2 months left in the financial year. So there are just 2 months left. Okay. Due to the shortage of officers, the assistant director operations have been given an additional charge of publicity. Because of his other commitments, he is unable to find time to undertake tasks such as baseline study, ascertaining communication needs, testing proposed messages and media channel, deciding optimum periodicity, measuring impact, etc. He also argues spending the rest of the budget is unnecessary because their regular programs are already widely known. His boss, the director, however, feels that only by utilizing the entire budget can a similar amount be demanded the next year. He also thinks that there is nothing like enough publicity. Okay, so we have a department. That is what we say. Department is always a stakeholder. Organization is a stakeholder, and within the department we have the assistant director of operation. Well, this gentleman is taking as an add-on responsibility, and then there's a director of a company. These are the three people that we see, and the situation that we have is the 12 crores of budget. We have only spent 4 crores, and there is
12 crores left either. 16 crores
16
is the budget.
60 crores of budget, 4 crores spent, 2 months left. And what is also given is very, very important in this case. You can actually see this case, right? It's very, very important. Because of the other commitment, he is not able to do some studies. So I think that he is not able to conduct any proper study to give justice to the role that he's doing. And he is making an argument. Two people are making two arguments. This particular person is making one argument. This person making another argument. This person, the argument, there is no need. The director is saying that he wants to utilize the budget so that similar amount be demanded the next year. He want to demand next year's budget. Yeah, situation. Okay, this is sort of the situation.
So if you look at this particular case, the criteria from an assistant director versus the criteria for director is going to be very, very different. If the question asks you to think like a director, you will act differently. If the question wants you to think like the assistant director, you will again think very, very differently. So this is what we mean by saying the criteria is the function of the question, and depending on what the question wants us to do, we'll have to look at the criteria. For example, if the criteria is next year's budget has to be as high as possible, then I have to spend the entire money. If the criteria is that do a judicious expenditure, then I'll probably think more like the assistant director.
And at this point in time, when you look at this particular question, you really don't know, okay, how do I look at this? But now you look at question number 1, right? The question number 1, which of these is best course of action for the department?
Right.
Now the criteria is dependent upon what is important for the department. Okay. Now I just want you guys to think about for a moment. I don't know. You can probably put in the chat box. What is sort of your criteria that you'll use from a department perspective? Would you consider would you go with what this one person is saying? Would you go with what other person is saying? Or would you say at this point in time, I really don't have enough information? First of all, I probably need to find something more. I think what is actually really needed, because all we have is one person saying X, another person saying Y. We actually don't have information. It was the Y only 4 crore was spent. Okay, why was the rest not spent? Okay, we actually and the passage also clearly says this criteria also clearly says that unable to do baseline study has not been done. Certainly communication needs have not been done. Testing proposed message has not been done. Media channel deciding optimum periodicity has not been done. Measuring impact has not been done. So now you actually think about from a department perspective. I think that why don't you? I'm not giving any answer choices. I can't see the chat GP, but I just want the students to just write. What do you think the department should do? Imagine department being a person.
These are a couple of answers. A couple of people have written here. Sohail has written director's point of view from for the department. Mayank is saying budget is important. Let me just put it here so that you can also see. This is one point of view from Sohail. Mayank is saying completely budget is important, so he's going on a different tangent. I'm not sure what exactly. Ajit is again saying there's nothing like enough publicity, so he's going again with the director's point of view. And Kevin Menon says, from the department perspective, conduct more studies so that I'm assuming, I'm trying to extend what Kevin is saying, conduct more studies so that you know that you are spending money in the right place.
Yeah. So at this point in time, I think point in time, from this, what I want to ask, think for a moment, all of you. First of all, you have to ask yourself, why are you even taking the side of director or assistant director? What is the data that you're using from the passage from it? Are you using your own sort of sense here? तुम्हारा दिमाग में जो चल रहा है, are we using that to come to the decision? I think that what is sort of problem one. Okay, so that is one question. Okay, we'll keep this in mind.
And if I can just add one small thing here. Now, look at this question. It is not giving you the criteria. This is a question which is not giving the criteria. It is saying think like the department. So you need to infer what would be the right criteria if you are an organization or the department.
So this is for the department. Department does not mean director. Department does not mean assistant. Department does not mean head. Department means what is good for the department. You have to actually think about department being a person, right? And now let's the question number 2 say which of these new development, if true, would most justify a larger utilization advertising budget. So which means I need to spend more. What could be something? Think about what could be the criteria I'm going to use to decide on saying that I have to utilize now advertising fund. It has to be something that is rational, which means it's something that advertising budget is advertising more advertising but is necessary. Okay. Can sort of somebody just type in the chat box without getting the choice? What could be some scenarios where advertising budgets would now be necessary? You don't have an answer choice.
No input so far. Okay. The last one is also in my mind, which is still referring to the first question. That spending without proper research should be negative for the department.
All right. So let's
so we have a comment from Ajit. Competition is gaining market share. That could be a reason to spend more. Forecast shows that sales can increase due to this. Yes, absolutely right. So these are criteria which you could look at.
So there has been some impact in terms of this improvement in sales, something that is beneficial to the organization. So you need to have this rough criteria in his mind. Okay, which is good enough. So let's, for example, look at the answer choice for the first question. I'm going to put about 30 seconds on this screen here, and then you guys can let's do 20 seconds. Okay, put an answer.
Guys, just type in the chat box what is the answer as per you. Okay, Ajit says 4. Rawat also says 4. Kevin also goes with 4. Okay, Mayank again 4.
Yeah, so what is the best course of action for department? Now look at something. I don't know what the problem is. Then only I can come with the solution, right? The most important thing is to identify. In this case, I need to identify a problem to come with the solution. I don't know what the problem is. Repeat advertising done for the past for 3 times over. This is one. Just do it. Okay, that is the best thing to do. You have no idea. Whatever you have done 4, just do it 3 times over. 4 into 3 is 12. Finish off. Exhaust that.
And one would have been the correct answer if the question had said, what would the director do?
Yeah.
The director says, no, everything has to be spent. This is what the director would do.
Rely on the operational experience of the director and the assistant director and start spending the optimal amount right away. So now he's saying the word right away. is saying that why should we do immediately? So this sensing some urgency. There is nothing that here that suggests any sort of urgency. Surrender the budgets right away. Again,
Just one more thing, Gio. And if you look at choice number two,
uh,
director and assistant director have a very divergent point of view.
uh,
Okay. Their point of views are very different. Director says spend, and the assistant director says don't spend. And the assistant director he's unable to spend time. But what did it say exactly? He also argues spending rest of the budget is unnecessary
correct.
because
Yeah.
the regular programs are already widely known. Okay? But before that, there was a line which was important again. Yeah.
Again, for example, this is what GP said is not feasible. Surrender the budget right away so that it can be utilized by other departments. And first of all, where did the other department come from? Why do we need? Why does the other department need money? Nothing is the case.
And
Hire a
no data pertaining to other departments. So this, in any case, is a useless option.
Okay. Hire a specialized external agency which will study the gaps and needs within a fortnight and follow its recommendation. This is like, let's understand the problem. Okay, first. And this sort of is a good sort of solution. 5 says request higher authority reallocate the remaining amount to other departments or the organization only. So why? So your answer to the question is definitely 4. So what you actually see is that as you see in this particular case, that if you can think about these best course of action, it sort of makes your life decision makes your life very easy, I think, and you will actually see that this is the most logical and most apt and the more correct answer to this question. Okay.
And in fact, if you go through the paragraph, this is given in the passage as to what should be the course of action. If you go in the middle, because of his other commitments, he's unable to find time to undertake tasks such as baseline study, certain communication needs, testing proposed messages and media and media channels, deciding optimum publicity, measuring impact. So this is what is the question itself. The passage itself is saying this is a criteria which should be used in general from a department perspective, or to be doing the right thing from an organization perspective.
And question. So that's there you go. So this is essentially for the department. Answer choice 4. So I'm going to give you the second question. Okay, so sorry, this I have to put. All right, there you go. Are we getting? People are
Yeah,
still
we are getting choice 3.
right.
We are
So you're
getting
looking
option
at
3.
you're looking at something that is gonna. That I think which of the following would most justify a larger utilization? Larger has to justify larger utilization, which means it is needed for the organization for their business, right? And you're right. I mean, answer choice 3 is the right one. The organization approved a new major scheme for immediate implementation. If that is true, then we need money. New major scheme for immediate implementation. So the other thing is saying about advertising agency has announced 25% reduction in rates. So let's start spending. Doesn't make sense. Internal committee organization has made strong recommendation to improve service delivery. What is service delivery got to with? Why would advertising budget be used service delivery? The findings of the baseline study are now available. But what is it? What is the study saying? We don't know. A new assistant director has been posted to explicitly look for publicity. That does not mean that immediately you have to start spending. So
create work for him.
It creates some work for him. So what you actually see in this particular cases is this, right? So the process is very simple. So you understand the key facts of the problem at hand, and then you sort of think about addition criteria. You don't have to be very perfect in this particular case. You think of sort of a shadow answer in your head. Okay, what are the decision criteria I'm going to use? And the moment you look at the decision criteria, life is done. Okay, so the most then you evaluate the options. The most important critical element is decision criteria. So that's a simple one. So we'll probably look
In
at.
fact, In
Yeah.
fact, some of you might have done case studies. This is
Hmm.
somewhat similar. I would not say exactly the same, but in a case study also you do something similar. And then if you have done case studies, it will definitely be helpful out here. But remember to stick to the facts of the case and we focus on the decision criteria.
Yeah. So if you want to look at the problem solving problem, first you do what is known as situational analysis. You analyze sort of the situation, and then what you do is you do what is known as the problem identification. You understand what is a problem. Lot of symptom may be there, and then you have to list down your decision criteria. Once you list down what is the criteria on which you're gonna, who are the stakeholder, you probably do a stakeholder analysis and stuff, and competitor analysis. So those kind of extra analysis you might do to arrive at what is known this set of decision criteria that you want to have. Then you list down alternatives. What are the alternatives, solutions that may have, and then evaluation of alternatives that you'll do against the decision criteria, and then you provide a recommendation. So even if you look at anything in this case, you have to base it. Imagine, for example, a lawyer, right, or a judge. How does the judge come with the ruling? Judge needs to have criteria to make a decision. That the criteria is given by the law. The law gives the criteria. How does, for example, XAT, XLRA, or IM selects you into the, it's sort of into the B school? IM selects you based on the criteria, eligibility criteria, their decision criteria in terms of why is IM decided. For example, you probably could have a case study in this case that IM, if you look at in general, or if you look at the current selection process, the current selection process, current selection process says that the 75% is 80% of the students in the class is male, only 20% is female. What the college wants to do is increase the number of female, and what could be the course of action, what are the solutions that they can do. Okay, there you go. So, and then you have if that becomes a decision criteria, then you look at there are other decisions, fairness, it has to be stuff and blah blah blah. So, okay, all the stuff can be. So we'll probably put to test in this case, first, so we'll do this. Obviously, in this, I'm going to first show the caselet, and then we'll do one of the first question, then we'll do the second question, then we'll do the third question. You, the key idea is at this point in time, just to so think of this as a primer session, right? So just think about setting the process in place in your mind, right? So when you go back home, when you start sort of solving the questions from the previous year's paper, you use this process when you solve it. Okay, so let's start with, I'm going to put the timer at I think 2 minutes is too much. Okay, I need this is one. Okay, one. Okay, that's the case. So let me give you a couple of minutes to read the case. I'm sure you would have read this case. Uh, so what you notice that this does not have challenges like reading comprehension. It's very, very straightforward. It says Future Leaders is one of the most prestigious private school in a small town. So it's one of the most prestigious. So it has got a reputation to keep. So you can probably, whether that criteria is going to be important tomorrow, we don't know. In a small town, next to an industrial hub. So that's the situation. Uh, then it says most students come from affluent families, but there are some who belong to middle income and lower income families as well. The school charges an annual fees of rupees 2 lakhs, inclusive of all charges, payable at the beginning of academic year. Roughly 20% of the fees collected goes to paying the salaries of the teacher. Another 30 goes for upkeep of the school, and roughly 20 percentage for the miscellaneous expense. When running day-to-day businesses like supply, cleaning, etc., the remaining goes into an exigency corpus. So 20 goes for teacher salary. Then you have another the 30 going for upkeep. Then you have another 20 rupees going for miscellaneous, and the 30, the remaining 30, I believe, would be for the corpus. That's 100. Okay. This year, like the rest of the country, the town has been hit by a coronavirus pandemic. The classes have shifted online. So we have gone online. Local authorities have mandated. So that is a mandate coming. There's nothing they can do about it. Mandated that all schools reduce the fees by 20%. So whatever they're going to get, now they'll get 80. Okay. If 100 they will get 80. Further, parents should be given extended time to pay the fees if they are in financial distress. That's a condition. If the parents are in financial distress, they should be given extended pay. The original condition is that they have to pay in the beginning of the academic year. Here, if they are financial distress. 6 months into the academic year, now we are looking at what happened after 6 months. Only 40% of the parents have paid the reduced annual fees. Only 40% of them have actually paid. So we only have now 32 rupees. So out of obviously the teacher ka salary, this one, this sort of the corpus may not be enough to take care of a lot many things. So we have got a sort of financial situation. And here, when you look at this is the first question. Here is where you got some extra piece of information here. So I would put let's say about 40 seconds. Why don't we just solve this question, then we'll discuss. GP, anything happening, coming? Yeah, I think GP are muted, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Choices 4 and 5 is what most of the students are saying.
Okay, there you go. There you go. I think
Options.
so. We have got, first of all, let's understand what criteria you'll use. I think here is where, like GP said, what is the question wanting you to do? What is the question wanting you to do? What is the thing that it is explicitly stated? I think what the question wanting you to do is make financially capable parents pay the fees. You have to make financially capable parents make the fees. Okay. What is the additional piece of relevant data that is given here? He's saying that there might be someone who is genuinely in financial crisis, but his contention is that feels that there may be a possibility that many parents are taking advantage of the situation. Okay. Now he's saying that only 40% of the parents have given the fees.
Yeah.
60%.
And if we go up to the first paragraph, it says most of the students come from affluent families, but there are some who are middle income and lower income. Okay? Middle income and lower middle income families as well. So if it says most, I would say about 70-80% people should have paid the fees. Less than maybe just about half of them have paid the fees. So the criteria, Jijo rightly said, is get the people who are capable, the affluent families, to pay the fees. And the second part is what that genuinely in financial distress, the ones between the middle income or the lower middle income families, if they have an issue, support them. So these are the two criteria which are given. And inside, and as Jijo said, Both of them are clearly given in the question itself.
Explicit, no? So now you're looking at, now let's evaluate, for example, that on this criteria, right? Let's look at 4. Offer 10 and 10% and 5% discount to parents paying fees within the next 1 week and 2 weeks respectively. How is that solving the problem? How is that solving the problem making financially capable parents pay the fees? How is it solved? And then saying that you are giving 10% and 5% discount. How is it helping the people who are genuinely need for help? They are in financial distress. They cannot avail this offer. So this one
And
is not.
also, and also in this issue, in this particular choice, are you also not being unfair to the parents who had paid fees in time?
Correct.
Those 40% of parents had paid the reduced annual fee in time. You need to be fair to them also. That's not given anywhere as a criteria, but in general, being fair or fairness is a criteria which you will include in whatever decisions you take.
Now the problem is that the fifth one actually sounds very very harsh, but ask parents to submit a proof of financial distress within 2 weeks. So that means that failing which they can bar their ward from attending the class, which is also fair. If you're not paid the fees, I mean, why are you sitting in the class, right? So if this kind of solves the problem, right? These one anyway doesn't make any sense. All these, okay. So answer the question would be answer choice number 5.
Yeah. And then just a word about choice number 3. You cannot mix up issues. Fees, you cannot buy marks. So you are mixing up issues. This is not addressing it is not addressing the criteria, or it is not addressing the issue. The issue was financially capable parents to be made to pay fees, and in return of that, you cannot give them marks. So that they are again in a way trading marks, which would be incorrect.
And I'm absolutely guessing you did not mark 1 and 2 and all. Okay. So
No one said 1 and 2. Everyone was between 4 and 5.
And the 4 doesn't make sense. So the key was to understand this criteria. This explicit. Obviously, probably we are not giving enough time. We are putting you under pressure. And let's. So there you go.
Yeah. So here is the question you're thinking: how would someone submit a proof of financial distress? See, you will show what is your financial income. Was the income earlier? What is that currently you are doing? Maybe you are a small time business person and your shops are closed. So whatever is your situation, you'll be able to show it. The person who will struggle to show it is the one who actually is not in financial distress.
So submit a proof, na? Some proof. Photo nikal ke de do.
And Atul, the final answer is choice 5 only.
Yeah, that's the final answer. Yeah. But Atul, how can somebody show financial proof? You are looking at the feasibility, na? Then I can question the feasibility of giving 10% and 5% discount also. No, why is it feasible? I mean, the paisa bhi paisa nahi hai. You already have 20% down. On top of it, you are giving another piece of discuss. So I can also question the financial feasibility in all these things. So answer choice has to be 5. Acha, theek hai. This is amazing. Okay, so probably I need to give you a minute. GP, you have a class now?
I have a class at 9:30, but you can continue, and Shruti is there. I'll ask Shruti to come on screen and probably show the questions to you because you're not the moderator.
Yeah.
What's the time like? Let me see. Okay, I can be for this question. After this question.
Yeah. I can watch the response on the. I'm going to give a hint here. The hint in this case is don't worry about figuring out order. Yeah, I think that usually you'll be able to find best and worst. Okay. Huh? Or the good one, bad ones. Okay. So this is
Yeah.
extreme is kind of easy to find, and then you start eliminating.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
In fact, most of the time I find this easy because once you have identified, even if you don't know which is best and worst, you can say this particular statement is better than the other one. Or choice or statement P is more effective than statement Q. That itself will help you eliminate choices.
I'm just gonna put a mark at 1-1 something. Okay, and obviously the decreasing order. So it's saying the most feasible way to do something immediately. So that's sort of the
Uh,
is the
There's just one small thing as a matter of strategy. What most of us do is we don't read the statements PQRST first. We read the first paragraph which says school finances immediately. Then we jump straight to Biswas's task to find out the most feasible way to elevating the financial crunch immediately. Which of the following combination? Now that I've read these 2 3 lines, now I know how I have to look at those 5 statements. Okay. So typically it is useful. It helps me save time. Otherwise, when I'm reading those statements without reading the last 4 lines, I don't know what to do with those statements. So we
correct.
prefer to read Biswas to achieving his goals, and yeah, read the first 3 lines first. Skip those PQRST, read rest of the question, and then come back and read PQRST and keep gauging, putting them into left or right from the best to worst.
Now the question is to do something immediately. So I can see a lot of people saying 4, which means you are basically saying that the immediate solution is to go beg.
Yeah. Fourth, I think that would be choice two. Choice four, sorry. अच्छा, that
Choice.
is first option. Okay, okay,
Uh,
okay. Yeah,
I,
actually इसमें जो है ना काफी है. I have one, you have 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. All of them are there. So the largest number seems to be 4.
so I think that answer choice number 4 is something that I can see in the chat box. Okay, I'm looking at the chat box. I'm just asking
Okay.
the question, which is is appealing to local industrialists to donate to the school. Is it an immediate solution?
And also it is completely dependent on someone else to pay you or to donate or not to donate.
Okay, so that is sort of you have to ask. Now, what do you actually look at this particular case? Na, withdraw 20% of the CSS salary till the situation improves. You're basically looking at this particular situation and feeling bad for the teacher. But you have to be very objective here. Huh? Think about this very objectively. Would it solve the immediate problem? If you cut the teacher salary, which is currently 20%, 20% issue, will it solve this? Improve the school's finances immediately. Will it solve? Okay. Ask parent to pay within a week or show proof of financial distress. Okay. So R is like R is okay. You're saying that now. You're saying that R is basically saying that ask parents to pay the fee or show pay within a week. You're asking parents. They are the one who's going to give money. 40% of the people have not given money. This could be immediate. You're looking at something that is within a week. You are making an action within a week. So this looks like something immediate. Stop online class of very single desperate financial crunch. So what? S is not
It,
solving
it,
anything.
it will not resolve the financial issue at all.
S is really bad. Then it says start an extra section in every class and offer admission to whoever is willing to pay fees. You know the heady. So you have the bad ones. It's like S and T looks bad. P's also looks bad. All right. And then the what is actually if you solely and purely go with the criteria of doing something that is immediate, unfortunately we have to put on the good side, good for the decision, not good for the teachers. You probably will have to put, I think, Q and R this side, no?
Yeah. Q and R will be to the extreme left. These are two things which will immediately help you financially. Okay.
So I
Because
think
teacher salary is one of the biggest expense, and the parents have to pay money. If you look at statement P again, I will repeat. It is up to the people to donate. They may or may not, and they might also come back and say, "Boss, this is something I cannot do now. Maybe I'll do later." So this is not within your control, and timeline is important for you. The statement is stopping online classes will give a signal. It will impact the reputation of the school also, and it will not give you money. So you are losing out on reputation. You are still not getting money. And last choice T is a longer term solution. It will probably help you in the next 6 months, or maybe, because setting up a new section, getting more people to join will take time. So this is not an immediate solution. So the only two immediate solutions out here are statement Q and R.
I think one of the issue that you have is that you start thinking ethical. Okay, what will teacher feel bad? I mean, is it feasible to implement? Absolutely implementable. No, you are in control. Yeah, I think you also understand the board of trustee of the financial school is for the financial situation and called Biswas for a meeting. Okay, this is in the hand of the implementable. It is a part of this. They can make an immediate decision about salary cut and stuff. It is immediate decision. Now you might ask about what if teachers leave and what will teachers leave. I'm saying that you just have to the you. I think that you just stick to the simple criteria that is given by the question. Objectively do it. You'll get the answer. That's answer choice number one. That's all.
Yeah. So Jijo, I'll have to move out now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm putting Shruti on the screen. Shruti, please take care of this part. The student answers, you can keep flashing them on the screen so that Jijo can see the answers. Okay. So
So
I'll leave.
anyway, I can't see the screen once I think I have got my mobile, so I'll check it. Okay. So let's
Okay.
look at the so let's look at question number 3 now. Okay. Chalo. Or I can see a lot of 2. I can see a lot of 5. Okay. So I can see a lot of 2s. I can see a lot of 5s. Those are the two things that I can actually see. Okay. Now here again says teach of the future leaders contribute to the stellar reputation. Moreover, they assist the school in arriving of at several critical decisions. This was resents their involvement in school matters as he has to listen to their collective voice rather than the other way around. Biswas feels that the current situation offers him an opportunity to get back at school. He wants to discuss the possibility of reducing teachers' salary by 20% with the board of trustees. So the first thing that discussion is happening with the board of trustees and the salaries by 20%. Which of the following will best enable Biswas to present his case by reducing teachers' salaries? Okay, reduction in teachers' salary. He has to. So now when you actually look at this case, very interestingly, ASAP, I think this is completely to tell you Biswas is a bad person. But the question has got nothing to do with Biswas being a bad person. We have to help Biswas actually get back at the teacher. And the discussion is about an ability to reduce the salary by 20%, and you have to go tell the board of trustees that we can reduce the salary by 20%. So if I kind of discuss the criteria is that the important stakeholder is a board of trustees here, and board of trustee has to be convinced the salary has to be reduced. I'm just asking. I'm just asking those who mark question number 2. Just tell me something. Wouldn't board of trustee know that information already? Teacher's salary is a significant part of the school's operating cost. It is a significant part of the cost. For example, it says that it is what is it? 20% of the fees collected goes to the teacher's salary. Is it good enough? I mean, okay. Ajit is saying it will help this case. Ajit, how will it help this case? Are you, for example, I'm going to tell them. So let's say there is an organization which has got a cost head, and there are a lot of cost head which is significant. Is it enough to go tell? I'm all, for example, I'm having a meeting with a trustee, right? I'm having a board of trust. I'm just asking you to think here. The key criteria here is that I should be able to consider board of trustee. And then you probably will have to think about what is the board of trustees interest in. Board of trustees interest would be the reputation of school, right? And for example, it is the most prestigious private school in small town. The reputation is it's important. It is something that is implementable. The repercussion has to be low. All these would be sort of the criteria here, no? Four, future leaders pay higher salary to his teacher as compared to other schools in the city. They give higher salaries in compensation compared to other schools in this country. So, if let's say I think now if you look at answer choice number four, no, I think Mohammed Suhail, answer choice number four is solving what problem? Answer choice number four is solving some other problem. He's saying that in general, so this should be a situation that would have been there in a habit for a long period of time. No, it is not something that has happened now. I think that previously also they probably would be paying higher salaries to the teacher. Now also they are paying higher salaries to teacher. It's interesting. So what is going to make absolute sense at this point in time? But other options make less sense. It's to the other options are doing okay. What I'm saying, Ajit, is that if let's consider each answer choice, right? 30% of the most experienced teacher may resign if they pay a cut. So this can't be the answer. This goes. Teacher salary as a significant part of the operating expense. All this tell is that the teacher's salary is important. We give salary to the teacher, and that in a school teacher is a very important stakeholder in a school. No, they are teaching the kids. Uska salary high hoga. He's saying that just because stating that it is a part of significant cost. So it's just part of significant cost. Now the question that you ask yourself is that just because something is significant, is it bad? There's not really. This is not convincing for the particular person. No, I think one of the things that you also need to understand is that it's the board of trustee would know this piece of information. 20% of the teacher. It's like what changed? Nothing has changed for them to make a decision. So there is the past. There is a now. Right? Something that now that something has to change. Most of the teachers are alumni of the school and hence should be asked to give back. Doesn't make sense. Answer this question, by the way, answer choice number 5. 4 and 5 are somewhat the case. 4 and 5 are not somewhat the case, right? 4 and 5 is not. 4 and 5 is not the same one. Suhail, 4 and 5 is not the same one. What is 4 is saying? 4 is saying that, okay, if I'm paying my teacher, imagine this, no career launcher versus, I don't know, XYZ. Let's say a teacher in career launcher earns 10 lakh per year. And somewhere else they earn, let's say, 8 lakh per year. And career launcher usually pays a teacher more than others. Okay, that's fine. Right? But that cannot be reason enough for me to reduce somebody's salary, no? How many of you are working, by the way? What they will be convinced is there are at least 2 other well-known private schools in the city struggling to survive, have resorted to a pay cut. Pay cut has happened somewhere else. There are other private school has done it. So this makes sense, right? Makes sense. So I think that here I'm sure that you probably will make mistake in question number 3, question number 2. But in the examination, I'm saying that what is probably very natural for us to mark is answer choice number 5 is not something that is not happen like this. But what you have to remember doing now, you just next time whenever you look at a decision making question in XAT, okay, just focus on how will you think about this decision criteria. Once you keep doing this, no, this will become second nature, and this is it. We'll do sort of one more set, and this set I picked from XAT 2024. I think that we did one of these questions in the live session, but I just want to pick this one set. So this is a small story. Okay, I think that they'll be able to read this in about a minute's time. So I'm sure the case is a simple case. In Symbol is an upcoming medium-sized IT service organization. Only 1% of the employees are awarded annual bonus. So annual bonus is only given to 1%. So 99 percentile public type. Okay. This annual bonus buffer was decided by a committee formed by different functional heads. Okay. When Miss Nalini Katakayan received the annual bonus for the first time in her 5 years at Symbolis. So we have got Nalini, but a 5-year experience. She got bonus. Shalini Sampath, a colleague with 7 years experience. Shalini, someone with 7 years experience of tenure Symbolis, told Nalini the annual bonus was less a reflection of Nalini's performance and more a recognition of those who have fostered a strong rapport with the powers that be. Shalini is sort of pissed. Maybe about Nalini. And Nalini, I think that at this point in time is actually going and saying, okay, what is going on? This is basically the story. Okay, this is what the story is. Okay, Shalini has never received any performance bonus in the tenure of the company. So that's it. Okay, so we have just a situation of somebody unhappy. That's it. Okay, that's sort of the story so far. This is the first question. Avi Sarkar dil pe liya. Let's just say Nalini is not cut out for corporate if she is considered letting go of that bonus. Of course. Yeah, yeah. You know what, sometimes. I think if you, all right, so we, I think most of, I think here is that, so when you're reading this, no, so when you're reading this question, you're thinking in mind, what is important for me? Okay. Shalini comments deeply hurt Nalini. Is that important? We don't know. Especially since she has always considered Shalini to be a close friend. Great. Nalini felt like declining the bonus given her respect for and relationship with Shalini. Very emotional decision she's taking. Which of the following reasons, if true, will best Nalini from dissuade her from declining the bonus? Which means, so the only reason why she is declining is respect and relation with Shalini. The only criteria is that respect doesn't fall away, relation doesn't fall, and all of you did get this question correct. Is answer choice number 2. Shalini, good at heart, is known for making insensitive comment. If that is true, she's good at heart, so she'll be fine. I think that aaj roegi. Otherwise, she's making insensitive comment. The others doesn't make any sense. Shalini is known for confronting her boss whenever they change deadlines. What do you mean this? Very few people very few people who are not considered loyal receive the bonus. Shalini's irrelevant comment about a previous boss pushed her out of the team. In a close room, Nalini is the first person. Okay, great. Okay. We've got question number 2. Okay, Flash, you asked a question. I missed it. Sir, is it two? I know, but can you explain why not four? So I'll just go back to that question. Okay, in a while. So I think that lot of you are give me one of the things that you have to be very very careful about is these things. So when you actually look at that particular statement that says Nalini assumed that her teammates might be influenced by Shalini. Consequently, they seem to be avoiding informal interaction with her. So this whatever Nalini's current thought process is very speculative, right? That's very very important to understand. Saying since receiving the performance bonus, Nalini noticed a change in how their teammate behaved with her. They appeared indifferent to her. Although there were no major issues, Nalini could not help but sense her teammate began to perceive her as having closer. I think again we don't know the problem. We only know speculation. So don't mark two. Confront Shalini and ask her to stop spreading rumors. Right? That is not a good course of action. Right? Do nothing. Obviously, that's not a good course of action. Start saying negative things about what is this? Invite her teammates for a dinner on a weekend. I'm sure what makes perfect sense is number five. No, talk to her teammates regarding the influence towards her. This is like trying to find out the problem. I think trying to find out what the problem is, no, is a good course of action. Okay, and just to go back to what Flash was asking me in the previous question, you're talking about a fourth one. Shalini's irrelevant comment about a previous boss pushed her out of the team. This means that Shalini's comment about the boss, so Shalini made comment about the boss is actually caused problem for her. The Shalini's comment caused problem. So Shalini is like one, I don't know, crazy person. Total Karen. Okay. Answer choice number, I don't know how many of you know what does Karen mean. Answer choice number four, Shalini is a Karen. It's like she is the fighter. Huh? Total fighting. I think, and I actually it's not going to help. Okay, so this number four makes sense, and we have question number three. So I think one is a project is very significant. So that is one thing that we understand. Is a significant project recently arrived at Symbolis. So one criteria has to be that the project has to work. The success of the project will be very very important. Okay, and Nalini was chosen to spearhead it. So Nalini has to ensure the success of the particular project is paramount criteria, right? She was given the autonomy to create her own team to collaborate and drive this project to success. That's it. Okay, so I think the absolute criteria has to be like the project has to work, right? Nalini wanted to build a team, and the first, second is that Nalini is given the autonomy. Nalini has to decide. Nalini wanted to build a team where each of the team members work with great camaraderie. Okay, Shalini had previous experience of working with client. Nalini offered her to join that. The reason why is that Shalini had experience working with a client. Our Shalini expressed her willingness to work on a project only on the condition that she would be appointed as a team leader. Right. Nalini was aware that the client was very difficult to work with. Of the three previous projects with the client, only the one where Shalini was a team member was successfully completed. Okay. So now we have sort of an issue, which is the best course of action for Nalini regarding the inclusion of Shalini in the team. It's very difficult to work with. Of the three previous projects with the client, only the one where Shalini was a team member. Here, Shalini was a team member. Now, Shalini wants to become a team leader. So this particular information is not really irrelevant. No, it doesn't really matter. So what should she do? Somebody said to tell her boss that Shalini should lead the team. No, she's a team member. She was a team member. No, Shalini becoming a team member make a lot of sense. But the question is, Shalini wanted to become a team leader. Making Shalini the lead the team would not make sense. And Shalini has very, very clearly laid out the condition that only on the condition. So they have no choice. 3. Request the boss, Ajit Singh. Request the boss to order Shalini to join the team. You are being given autonomy. Shalini has come with a condition. What is important is great camaraderie. People have to work together. Ajit, you are saying that this girl is giving me, she wants me a team leader. I'm going to tell the boss, I want her in my team. Total kachra karoge. Why would it for 3? Complain about, I think it has to be 5. And I'm sure there are some of you who would have probably got all 3 correct. No. So you've got all 3 correct, no? But sir, is it sensible to hope for a change of mind if I have asked once already? Why would you want to hope a change of mind? So I think that why is you have to understand something. What is the criteria? Criteria has to be absolutely simple. And she is I think this criteria is very, very simple. The whole thing is to drive this project to success. The only thing that Nalini has to do is project has to be successful. That's it. Shalini being a team member is a good one. That's a good one. But is Shalini indispensable? Not necessarily. All we know is this could be pure coincidence. Only the one where Shalini was a team member was successfully completed. It's a coincidence. Yeah, there you go. So the thing that you again you got to understand is a few things with respect to decision making, right? The first thing that you understand is decision making equals analytical reasoning, and you have to create a strong process of solving decision making, and then build a skill of identifying decision criteria. This is what you got to do, and I strongly, absolutely suggest that you pick up, learn from them. I will say that XAT actually started decision making in 2008. Okay, so you probably can look at 2008, 9, 10. I think 11, 12, 13, and all the passages became 2 pages long. I think the 2008, 2009 makes a lot of sense because you have got some short ones. It sort of gives you some solid foundation in terms of solving the questions, and then you can probably start from practice in 2014. I would say that you avoid 2020, which was very crazy. And then you pick up CL XAT mocks, analyze them thoroughly. Everything will come with the video solution. In fact, if you look at the XAT Pro mock, there are four mock which is flexi, 4 mocks which are pro. All the pro mock will be recorded by me. The video solution, all the flexi mock will be recorded by GP. So I think that if you kind of take the CL XAT mocks, all the decision making video in the mock will be recorded there. So we have got another 7 times 7 in each of these 7 scenarios multiplied by 8 mocks, which we will have a good 56 sets. And then with everything which is video solution, you have these ones here. Obviously, there is no solution to it. And if you feel that you need sort of extra bit of help, there is a DM1000 Redux. Redux means it's from the past. We have not created anything new this time. So we just did not have time. So this has got about 30 video lessons. We have about 21 tests. So if you feel the need for picking this one, you can. Otherwise that this is something that you should do. So CL Fleximock 2025 decision making videos are not present. Really? I'll check. Supposed to be present. Okay. So yeah. So as a sort of a broad thing, my the, my okay, this is, oops, I don't know what is happening. Okay, there you go. My suggestion is just keep it very simple. Just go about do this particular process and try and apply this particular process in every single test that you're preparation that you're doing, and I'm sure that you'll be able to get about 75% accuracy. I hope this makes sense. All right. So I have, okay, where is it? So I have taken XAT online classes. Will DM be covered in that? Okay, if you have taken XAT online classes, I don't think it's needed. DM 1000. DM 1000 has got XAT online class has got 5 lessons. In fact, DM 1000 includes those 5 lessons of the XAT online classes. So if you just need sort of some additional stuff, you can pick it up. Okay. All right. Thank you all. I sort of hope that this session was beneficial, and I wish you the very best. And may you make good decisions. And you made a good decision taking this act, and you will continue to make good decisions. Thank you so much, and goodbye.